Hi again, welcome to another Minute Man video, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a Lawnflite Hedge Trimmer with a Kawasaki engine on it. It actually does run okay, but I want to sell this machine, so I just want to go through it and do the checks, what I usually do on all the two strokes I work on, and make sure everything's all good. So I'm going to get on with all of that now. So here it is, it's a Kawasaki E2220WK, and it's for Lawnflite as well. I think Kawasaki made them for Lawnflite or something like that. And on top it's a TH23 Professional. It's quite a nice looking machine, and I was debating whether to even bother with doing the carb on this because it started up okay and everything, but as I got it, well, I bought it cheap off Facebook Marketplace, and just for peace of mind I want to just check the piston through the ports as I always do. To make sure the piston's good, because it can run okay, but then 20 minutes later if the piston's damaged then it could start playing up and running wrong and stopping and all things like that. The blades rotate okay, and I've got a carb kit for it. I'm going to put a carb kit in it while I'm at it, clean the carb out and just give it a little bit of a sort of an overhaul really, whether it needs it or not. You know, I just want to make sure it's right. Yeah, where am I going to go first? I'll probably don't know if, as it's this way round, I might as well take the carb off first. I find them quite a heavy machine, these ones, but they're all right. They're pretty well made, and it's got Kawasaki on top, so you can't really argue with that, can you? So you can see that, look, it's a bit, yeah, it was a bit mucky, but it's doing its job. Go. So yeah, it's a bit mucky, but I'll probably clean it out and use that again, because I try to keep the costs low when I'm repairing them, because you know they're not really worth a fortune, so I don't want to spend that silly money on them. Yeah, I've got this time I've got a genuine diaphragm and gasket set, so they're quite cheap actually, under £5 for a genuine one, Walbro. So yeah, can't complain at that. You have to pay more than that for a lot of machines for the copy ones. So yeah, that's all off. I'll keep all that together. The choke is there on this one, so none of that is in the air filter housing. Pull that off there like so. And yeah, we'll get it off in a minute. I'm just going to have a look through that end there, just to see what the piston is like. And that is good. Yeah, that piston is good. So that's a good result. I want to know which one of them goes to where. So we'll just, that one at the back, and that's the one that's return, and the other one is the main fuel line, which the filter goes on the end. So let's just see if we can get it off. Bit of petrol went flying about. So the only other thing to get the carb off is this throttle cable. Get that out, hopefully that just pulls through like that. Yep, so now that's separate, so I can put that to the side, ready to be cleaned. I'm ready to turn this round now, but I'm just going to check the fuel just to see what it looks like and smells like. It looks and smells good. So yeah, I'm going to get this turned around and we'll get the exhaust off and just check in there. Then it's basically a bit of a clean down, do the carb, get it back together. Should be a nice and quick one, this one. I will put a new spark plug in it as well. Pull rope is okay, a bit grubby, but it's okay. I can see that's good. So yeah, we can turn this one around pretty quick. So I'll just and actually, yeah, I will turn it around now. I meant turn it around to sell it, if you know what I mean. But to take the exhaust off, I need to turn it around. And I'll tell you what, I'll do that actually while we're here. There we go. So the screw there. Hoping just that front bit separate to the rest, so I haven't got to interfere with where the recoil is. That'd be good if that's the case. I think it is. There's one at the front. Cool. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a different screwdriver for that. I had a hard job getting that screw out of the front. The screwdrivers were sort of messing it up, and then in the end I've just put that on the end of the impact, and with the impact it managed to kick it off to start it, so that should be good now. I was getting a bit concerned there. I might try and find something else to put back in there, but yeah, you can see the head is starting to get a bit ruined there. So yeah, I'm lucky to get that out, I think, but I did totally ruin it first, so I had a bit of bit to work with still. Is there any more on here? It looks like it's all, oh, it is all off. The good thing about doing this as well is I can give it a good clean out under there as well. There is a few, yeah, there's a little bit, some leaves and that at the front, and the bits of crud in there. So see if I can get that totally off. Pretty compact machine though. Oh, it's been a bit of a pain at the moment. I'm going to actually leave that part on the plug lead cap is through there, but that's going to be okay. I can clean around there okay. And now I can get this exhaust off. So I'll use the impact for that. By doing this as well, you can always check the exhaust to see if it's got any blockages or anything in it. I don't know whether this is, I think this one probably's got a spark arrestor on it under there, so I'll have a look at that before I put it back on. We'll get the torch out and have a look in there to see piston condition. Yeah, that's good, pleased with that. So we know we've got a good one. I'll get a few things cleaned off, blow that crud out there, and then I can start getting the exhaust and that back on, and then we'll finish off with the car. I've just undone them 4 screws on there to see if it has a spark arrestor in it, and I found out it doesn't. So that must just be on there to angle the exhaust gases out there. So yeah, I expect to see one in there, unless it's been took off before in the past. So now let's get this carb apart. It's pretty straightforward. There is fuel in it, you can see in the primer bulb there's still fuel in it. So now we've got that off, and that bit should just pull off there like so. So yeah, we've got that one to do. On this one, that end doesn't really have to come off the throttle mechanism. I might just take it out just to check there isn't any muck in there, but it looks in pretty good nick to be honest. So I have that one there, and then I'll just leave that for a minute, and then I'll take off this part. Yeah, that part just it got a bit stuck. And then there's the other diaphragm. It's a bit rippled in there, so yeah, could do with a new one. So just remember, and I always forget, I've done absolutely loads of these, I always forget where the gasket goes, but the gasket goes on the bottom. So this diaphragm bit should just peel off and leave the gasket, but it might come off altogether. We'll see. Want it to come off quite nicely because you don't want to have to clean off, get old gasket ready if you don't have to. But there's the diaphragm that's coming off. It wasn't terrible. So yeah, I'll just show you that was on there like that. So it goes, that bit goes down. There's a gasket on there now. Just going to get something just to go under there. Like I said, try and be a bit careful doing this bit, because if you can get off cleanly, it means you ain't got to clean off old gasket, which I hate having to do that. This one's looking promising. Might be a little bit there. Yeah, just a little bit there. I'll get it off before I put it back together. So now we've got to take the needle valve out. If you hold it like that while you're taking the screw out, yeah, the screw did come out. Just let the screw drop in the bowl or whatever. It's always good to have a bowl or something to catch all your bits and pieces, and then if I let that go, then everything will fall out, and there's that spring which will ping. There, it's all out now. This one I started to peel off. I took it off together this time. Just remember, I said I always forget however many times I do it, gasket is underneath. So you can see them little rib bits on there. Little rib bits, so that goes like that. I'm just gonna, well, I know that's like that. So I am just gonna take that bit off there. There's only 2 screws, so just give everything a good blow out then when I'm cleaning it, and a good clean out. Still one slightly in there. There we go. So now I've got that bit separate and the other bit before separate. I'll get them all cleaned up and then we can get it back together then. Pretty straightforward. So I'll be back with you when they're all cleaned up. I'll just run through how I do it quickly. Spray them through with some of that carb spray cleaner. And then I'll just get the airline just to blow it through and just make sure it's clean, and it dries it at the same time as well. And then you'll see me when I'm putting it all back together with the new diaphragms and gaskets. So now I've cleaned the carb, everything's ready to go back together. The diaphragm kit I had was right, I matched them up. That was a kit I used, even though the carb said it was a WYB, this WYL kit fits, so that's good. So yeah, let's just get this back together. So yeah, that goes like that. Sometimes that can go other ways, but on this one it actually has got a pin in there, so I can't get that wrong. It has to go there. So yeah, that's all good. I'll put them 2 screws back in there. So yeah, that's all tight and back in place now. In a way, I should have done that afterwards because I can't balance the carb now, so I'm going to have to just put something under it to balance it. It will sort of work because I want to drop the spring in that in, but I'm not actually to that stage yet. So what do we say? It was gasket first. So what way around is this got to go? It's got to go like that. Yeah, I'll use that as my pointer there, that little bit there, so I know it's going to be in the right place. Same with this part. Nice how they locate into them little like dowels really. So what I'm going to do before I go any further, I'm going to put that spring back in, well, the spring and needle valve and everything back in there. So I'm just going to move this to the side. I should have done that before. Got to be carried away there. What I always tell you to do, be careful with that little spring. I just dropped in, it pinged across the floor. Luckily I found it. I did have a spare, for worst come to the worst, but I didn't want to start ripping down another carb to get one out really. Yeah, we got that in. So that's how I like to have it, so it's just resting in there. Just off camera, I'm just putting the bits together for that like so, and then I'll hang a little needle valve in. So let's just go for it and get it straight in there, which it is in there of sorts. Yep, that's all alright. I need that little tiny little bolt. Go, so now I can just so now let's check it. See where you can see the spring under there. It's all in place where it should be and it's all moving all right. So that is all good. I can sort of set this all up now. If I do that, grab that gasket, which it goes on there, then the diaphragm goes on there like so, then that piece, like I said before, it all locks into them little dowels, so it makes it a bit easier. And then we've got that, so that whole bit's together now. So all I really have to do now is just put that on top of all that, and then the screws go in, or little bolts. I'll just get them done up. So the carb's all done now. One thing I didn't mention was I cleaned the little gauze piece out you get in these carburetors. I did it off camera when I was cleaning it. So yeah, that carb's all done now and all clean, and I like to hear that sound. Generally, if you can hear that, it's going to prime okay. So yeah, I'm going to get the hedge trimmer back on the bench now and get this on it, and then we'll be done. We'll be done. I'm going to get the car back on now. I have already connected the fuel lines, so they're already done, and now that can go on back on there, but I have to do this first, the throttle cable. Just push it down if I can. Yep, we should be good there. Yep, I've got that in. So now I'll get this back on. I couldn't remember what way it went, but then I worked out it was like that because that sticker's the right way. So I'll get that back in there. I don't think there's an O-ring on this one, on the outside, because it sort of pushes into the moulding of that. The carb does, so should be all good. We've got the gasket on there already. That's all done. I did blow out the old air filter. Doesn't look the greatest, but it's gonna have to do. I think it's all right actually. It's just gone a little bit mouldy really. So put that in there. Cover goes on there, and we're done then. And all we're going to have to do now is start up and test it out, just to check that everything is good. At least another car's been all cleaned, and yeah, got the new kit in it, so that's all good. So you'll see it outside next. Hopefully it's all good, and we'll be done this one. So now let's see if we can get this Kawasaki Lawnflite Hedge Trimmer started. So I'm just going to prime it up a bit. Bulbs there. You can see it going into the bulb okay. Make sure it's right position there. And we'll see if it starts.
now I'll show you this hedge trimmer in action, just cutting a bit of that. So this Kawasaki E2220WK Lawnflite, that's the model, the TH23 Professional. Not a bad hedge trimmer. You see it started up well after sorting the carb out. And yeah, it's all working. So all I've got to do really now is clean it up, and the blades could do with an oil. But yeah, I can consider this one done now. It's running well, and yeah, it starts well, runs well. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. So I'll leave the video there. So thanks for watching, and I'll be along with another video again soon. So bye for now.